Czechoslovakia. Scotty Bowman on the right. Face off to the left of Zarilla. Augusta. He's checked. Gets it back, though. Outside the blue line, Novi. He's stopped by Dennis Potvin. Potvin over the line to Esposito. Esposito at the side, right in. And it bounces off Perreault and goes wide. Perreault inside the blue line. He's checked. Here's a chance for Novi. Novi breaks away. All alone. Running on goal. Shoots. Oh, and that shot stopped him. 1 minute and 15 seconds remain. Esposito clears it in. Perreault at the side of the goal in front. Hits Mikhosh and goes wide. Mikhosh outside the center. Bobby Orr. 1 minute remaining in the third period. And it's a 4-4 tie.
Team Canada got caught as Hull lost the puck. Novi on the breakaway. Watch LaPointe at the very end hooking his stick and getting a good piece of it and preventing a real good scoring chance for Novi.
The foot stomping and the hand clapping with 59 seconds. Canada has had 14 shots on goal in this period. Czechoslovakia 7. It's a 4-4 tie. Barber at the line to Bobby Clark. Clark goes over the line, right in front to Barber. Barber's backhand shot knocked down by Keiko. Malinka clears it down the ice. Martinet races after it. He's checked. Clark at center ice just scoops it into the corner. Zarilla out of the net, watched by Leach. Taken now by Yuri Holick. He tries to get it out, gets it to center with 25 seconds left. The 4-4 tie. Kubla checked by Barber. In behind the net, clears it to center. Savard gets it to Bobby Clark. He's checked, and Guy Lafleur will carry on. Lafleur with 10 seconds left. Keiko to Holick. 6 seconds. Over the line. Halinka over to Holick. 2 seconds. Orr checks Holick. And it comes to center. The siren goes. And the third period is over as we head into overtime. There's going to be many anxious moments there, Ken.
Incredible. There are so many scoring chances there at the end, from a very carefully played hockey game to absolute chaos at the end where it seemed like the last shot was going to win. I would expect that the two coaches will try to get a grasp onto their respective teams in this particular intermission and try to get them to play a little bit more controlled hockey, knowing that this next goal is absolutely critical.
I'll talk about key goaltending. End to end, they had some great stops there in that third period as Canada outshot Czechoslovakia 14-7. Novi almost putting it away for Czechoslovakia. He was hooked from behind, as we saw in the highlight. On the replay, he got a weak shot away, but Vachon made the stop as well. So far in the game, Canada has outshot Czechoslovakia 34-21. It's a 4-4 tie, and we'll be back with overtime following the intermission with Al McCann and Tom Watt. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV. Sudden death overtime is underway. Here's Bobby Clark in over the Czechoslovakian line to Leach offside. And we've played 6 seconds here in sudden death overtime. The crowd tonight at the Montreal Forum, 18,040. The attendance record here at the Forum is 19,008. Standing room only crowd tonight. A 4-4 tie. We're in sudden death overtime. Puck is taken by Pospisil. Pospisil of Czechoslovakia. Out to center to Chernik. Chernik to Novi. Novi in over the line. His shot, and that hits Orr. Savard goes after it in the corner to Bill Barber on the left side. Barber scored the tying goal at 17:48 of the third period. Augusta gets by Orr. Takes it into the corner right in front. And Chernik couldn't get a stick on that. Barber to Reg Leach. Leach gets to the line. Check. Barber carries on. Chernik takes the puck from him. And Savard has it at center ice. Off the boards to Leach. Back to Savard, to Peter Mahovlich. In over the line. He's checked. And Mikosh takes him against the board. Pospisil clears it a long pass for Martinez. Failed to click. Goes over the line, and it's icing against Czechoslovakia. And that could have been dangerous.
Very, very dangerous pass. Again, cross ice from behind his own goal line up through the middle. Steve Shutt almost knocked the puck down, and had he been able to do so, he would have had clear sailing in on the net. Not the kind of play you expect to see at any time, but certainly not in sudden death overtime.
We played 1 minute and 1 second here in sudden death overtime, a 4-4 tie. And is the case in international hockey, after 10 minutes, they'll switch ends. The face-off now taken back to Lapointe. His shot, and it goes wide. Halinka at his own blue line to center. Intercepted by Potvin. Potvin just clears it into the Czechoslovakian zone. Keuchel has it for Czechoslovakia. Checked by Steve Shutt, and he holds it there long enough for a face-off. 3 power play goals in the game. Noby and Augusta have scored for Czechoslovakia. Bobby Clark, a power play goal, his first goal of the Canada Cup Series. Bubla behind his own goal. Checked by Guy Lafleur. And he falls on the puck long enough for another face-off.
One would expect in an overtime series that the teams would tighten up to a certain extent and not take any kind of chances. However, given the way the latter part of the game went, one can never tell.
Keuchel, number 17, goes behind his own goal for Czechoslovakia, comes right in front. Up to his own blue line, watched by Peter Mahovlich. Mahovlich checks him, tries to get the puck, gets it over the line where Yuri Holick intercepts and gives it to Bubla. Bubla to center. Here's Halinka going in with Martinez. Halinka takes it to the side. Lapointe checks him. Around to the other side. Lafleur runs into Holick. Keuchel has it at center ice. Keuchel, he's checked, and now Dennis Potvin will try. We've played 2 minutes in overtime. Shutt, long shot, and it's offside as it hits Bubla, though, but it was offside as the Team Canada player was over on the right wing.
After 5 periods of rather disappointing hockey and rather slow hockey, the third period was absolutely incredible with that kind of action, which certainly undid all that happened and was a cause for some disappointment in the early parts of this series.
And we played 2 minutes and 8 seconds here in sudden death overtime, a 4-4 tie. Puzar long fakes the shot, though. There's another shot, and that goes wide of the net. Halupa races in, puts it right onto the stick of Larry Robinson, and it's cleared to center ice. Orjak just slaps it into the corner again. Robinson takes it off the boards, gives it to Hall, hit him in the skates. Robinson goes back, gives it to Bobby Orr. Orr runs into the Czechoslovakian player, cleared it back to Robinson. Hall is dumped. Here's a chance for Stastny, and his shot is deflected off the stick of Bobby Orr. There's Rogie Vachon in goal for Team Canada, and the face-off will be to his left. 7 minutes and 17 seconds remain in the first 10 minutes of sudden death overtime. If a third game is needed in this best-of-3 final, it'll be played Friday night here at the Montreal Forum. Mikosh gets a shot. Vachon stops that. Noby tries to get the rebound. He's checked. And they get the puck held against the boards again for a face-off.
One could normally expect that at this stage of the game and of the series that the teams would be a little bit taut, but given the fact that it is in a potentially deciding game and it is in overtime, both teams are finding energy that they never knew they had, and I'm sure that fatigue will not be any factor at all in the result of this contest.
And we played 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Sudden death overtime. The puck is dropped. Taken at the blue line by Mikosh. Over on the far side to Pospisil. Long pass for Noby. Knocked down by Lapointe. Lapointe slaps at it. Kept in by Pospisil in front of the net. Stastny or Chernik gets a shot at it. Noby goes in to help out. Comes back to Augusta to Chernik. He fans on a shot. Mikosh clears it in. Potvin back for Canada. Potvin going in with Bobby Clark and Barber. Lost his stick, goes after the puck. Clark runs into Mikosh, and now Augusta for Czechoslovakia. At his own line, Novi. Chernik runs into Bill Barber. Novi backhands it in over the Team Canada line. Esposito, long pass for Leach. Leach breaking it on goal. Takes it behind the net in front. Oh, and Barber banged on his shot. Esposito runs into Pospisil, and Augusta goes in. They get a face-off.
Reggie Leach made an excellent play there, cutting in, and most players would have taken the shot, although it was from a very bad angle. Here you see taking the shot, the puck off the boards, and instead circling the net, looking for Bill Barber, had him open, but just missed him.
And we played 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Sudden death overtime. Canada and Czechoslovakia. The face-off to the left of Zarilla. Phil Esposito, Paul Perreault, Savard and Bobby Orr for Team Canada. Taken by Keuchel. Keuchel of Czechoslovakia right in front of his own goal. Off the boards to center to Martinez. Cleared to an open wing. Phil Esposito. He's checked. Halinka circling at center. Halinka to Martinez. In over the line. Watched by Hall. Gets a shot wide of the goal, but Vachon holds on. Scoring in the game for Canada tonight, Perreault, Esposito, Bobby Clark, and the all-important tying goal by Barber. While scoring for Czechoslovakia, Marian Stachny, Augusta, Kozar, and Milan Novi. Face-off to Vachon's left. Halinka against Esposito. Orr leaves it there for Savard. Off the board, Gilbert Perreault. Put it right on the stick of Keuchel, who in turn gives it to Halinka. Over to Martinez. Martinez gets set, fakes a shot, fires it right at Savard. Puck is loose, and that one just whistles wide of the net as Vachon came out. Bubla, checked by Perreault. In behind the net. Here's a chance for Halinka. Runs into Orr, and we have another face-off.
Very dangerous play around the Team Canada net, not unlike the play the other night in Toronto where Mikoch went down to block the shot, apparently had it, it squirted loose, and it resulted in Lafleur's goal. This time it was the Czechoslovakian team. Here it is here. Savard blocks it. It just comes out. The shot is taken. It's going wide of the net, but Bobby Orr is standing right beside the goal crease, and it almost goes in off his leg.
Shots on goal at this point. Czechoslovakia has outshot Canada 1-0. And shots at the goal in overtime. Czechoslovakia has had 7 shots at Rogie Vachon, while Team Canada has had but 1 shot at Zarilla, as the two coaches look on as the faceoff comes outside the blue line. Back into the Czechoslovakian corner. Halupa, number 5, watched by Steve. Shot right in front, and it's taken by Vorjak. Cleared on the far side. Stachny gets it out to center. Now it's Marian Stachny's turned around. The puck goes loose. Peter Mohavlis is checked by Halupa, and Halupa gets the puck. Clears it in. Here's Peter Stachny trying to get it ahead to Kozar, right on goal, and Vachon steers it into the corner. Shot off the post. That shot off the post as Marian Stachny let it go. Right in front again. Back to Halupa. He spans on his. Here's the point. Gets it to center ice, and Vorjak clears it. Peter Stachny on the left side. Into the corner, right in front. Here's a chance, and Vachon stops at it. Lafleur comes back, going in with Shutt. Lafleur and Shutt going in. Vorjak takes Lafleur out of the play, gets it in front, and here comes Marian Stachny. Long pass on the right side. Kozar at center for Czechoslovakia. 4 minutes and 19 seconds remain in the first 10 minutes of sudden death overtime as Bobby Orr. Ahead now to Dion. In over the line. Dion drops it back. Sittler gets set. And his shot is low and wide. Orr in behind the net to Sittler. Taken by Czechoslovakia's Milan Novi. Novi coming up with Augusta and Chernik. In over the line, offside. As the puck didn't go over, we have 6 minutes and 7 seconds gone. Here in sudden death overtime, and now it's called back with a face-off coming back into the Czechoslovakian zone to the left of Zarilla.
Very dangerous shots at both ends. The latter, Sittler, having the corner and having Zarilla screened somewhat by his own defenseman, shooting about a foot wide.
Canada 4 and Czechoslovakia 4. Sudden death overtime here at the Montreal Forum. Both teams are at full strength. Face off to the left of Zarilla. Clark, Barber, and Leach out there for this face-off. Milan Novi gets set for the draw for Czechoslovakia. Clark wins it. Novi goes after the puck. Leach scoops it in, and it's cleared to center ice. Larry Robinson off the board. In behind the Czechoslovakia net, Pospisil. In front, and Leach intercepted that. It's cleared down the ice, and it's icing against Czechoslovakia. 6 minutes and 28 seconds have been played in sudden death overtime. There's Milan Novi. He has scored one of the 4 Czechoslovakian goals tonight. And he's getting set for this face-off against Bobby Clark. Czechoslovakia iced the puck just 4 times during the regular portion of the game, the 3 periods. But they've iced the puck 3 times so far in overtime. Obviously not taking any chances. Bobby Orr off the boards behind the net. Leach after it. Leach has dumped the pass in front of the loose puck. They shoot it. Oh, and Zorilla got that just before it went over the line. Robinson leaves it for Orr. Big save by Zorilla. Mikos clears it to the line. Reggie Leach in front of his own goal. To Robinson. Back to Bobby Orr. Team Canada out to center ice, Barber. And it's a 2-line offside pass.
It's an example of real clutch goaltending by Zorilla. A tough first shot, and it's very difficult to follow those rebounds after they're taken. And he had the presence to look back, find the rebound, and scoop it off to the side.
And we played 6 minutes and 57 seconds here in sudden death overtime. And, of course, after the first 10 minutes, they'll switch ends. A 4-4 tie. Here's Martinez's shot. Oh, and Vashon reached that out of the air. Zorilla was almost to the blue line. He thought it was a goal.
Great save by Vashon. We had clutch goaltending at the other end. Here's an example right here. Hollick taking the shot. Vashon the save, and if you noted afterward, Hollick came up, gave a big pat in the back to Vashon.
Standing ovations, almost the order of the day for Ogie Vashon as he gets another one. Esposito out to center for Canada. Had it knocked off his stick. Guy Lapointe inside his own blue line. Watched by Martinez. Gives it to Hull. Hull runs into Bubla. And Guy Lapointe carries on. Over to Perreault. Hollick has him tied up. In behind the net, Esposito and Hollick. Halinka tries to get it. Keuchel goes in. For Czechoslovakia, Keuchel to his own line. To Halinka at center. Martinez going after it. Halinka overskates it. Bobby Hull. On the left side, Hull going in. Takes it to the side. He's dumped in front. And Perreault couldn't reach it. Keuchel has him tied up. Hollick. Perreault will try now. Perreault is turned around. We've played 8 minutes here in sudden death overtime. Scramble for the puck. They try to get it loose. Knocked out. Here's Halinka trying to feed Martinez and Dennis Potvin. Over to Perreault. Perreault at center. Circling around. Inside the line. Knocked off his stick. And Keuchel clears it. Intercepted by Bobby Hull. Team Canada with Potvin at center. Going in with Hull. And Lafleur. Lafleur takes the pass. Shoots. Hits the ball. Another shot. And the puck in the net, but the goal net knocked off its moorings. Esposito goes over to talk to referee Dahlberg. The initial shot hit the post. Then the players collided on the net, and it came off its moorings. No goal.
Absolutely incredible play. Lafleur, here's Bobby Hull. Denny Potvin makes a perfect pass to Lafleur, who comes in, takes the shot. Zorilla makes the save, but it trickles in behind him. He doesn't know where it is. Now watch Halinka go in. His momentum takes him into the net, and the net is taken off its moorings just before the puck goes into the net. It's a very, very difficult call for Dahlberg. Here's the play again. Great play by Potvin. The shot. Watch the puck right behind, squirting out, but the puck was definitely off the moorings before the puck entered the net. A tough call for Dahlberg. He had many options on that occasion. In fact, chose one of them, and that is presumably that he felt as if Holinka had intentionally knocked the net off its moorings and thus deserved a penalty. However, the Czechs are obviously willing to give up a penalty for the sake of a goal.
We played 8 minutes and 30 seconds here in sudden death overtime.
8 minutes, 30 seconds.
And a penalty. That's a penalty shot in the NHL, of course, if the net is dislodged intentionally. International hockey, it's a minor penalty, and that's what will happen here with Czechoslovakia serving a 2-minute penalty at 8 minutes, 30 seconds of sudden death overtime.
That is a play that is almost never seen. I'm sure I've never seen it before in my life, and I imagine the next time will be some years hence as well. A really remarkable play. In international hockey, the goal nets are anchored much less well than in the NHL. In the NHL, there's about a 6-inch pipe on either side anchored into the floor, such that it's very difficult to dislodge the nets. Whereas in international hockey, it's a peg about an inch long, and it's just stuck into the ice. And in international hockey, you see the net dislodged very, very often.
Moving into the penalty box is Puzars. We'll see the net now. Watch Holinka as he collides into the net. Now, he hits it hard, but he also lifts it up.
There you can see the pegs right there. That was, again, as I said before, a very difficult call. The first time around, I thought perhaps that Holinka had done that intentionally. But watching it on the replay, he was covering Bobby Hull and was right with him, and I don't think that he really had the capacity to stop.
Back to Leach to Bobby Orr. Canada on the power play. Leach at the side of the net, gets set, gives it to Clark, a backhand in front. It's grabbed by the goaltender, goes loose. Leach will try it again. Back to LaPointe, over to Orr. Orr winds up, fakes a shot into the corner. Barber's tied up and dumped. Leach is checked, and they hold it against the boards for a face-off, and we used up 20 seconds of that penalty.
Bobby Clark has been injured. He's being taken to the dressing room, limping very severely. Appears as if he has re-injured his Achilles tendon, and if that is the case, he looks as if he may be lost for tonight's game.
Phil Esposito goes at center now to replace the injured Bobby Clark. Barber and Leach remain out there. Martinez comes on the ice now to replace Marian Stachny for Czechoslovakia. And Augusta will take this face-off against Esposito. Linesman John D'Amico drops it. It comes back to Orr. To Leach. Back to Orr. He has trouble with it. Spins around. Puck goes into the corner. Orjak behind his own goal. Just clears it down the ice. Less than a minute remaining in the first 10 minutes of sudden death overtime. Canada 4, Czechoslovakia 4. Bobby Orr behind his own goal to Esposito. Esposito to center. Going in over the line, Reggie Leach is offside. And we have 44 seconds remaining in the first 10 minutes of sudden death overtime. Bobby Clark is coming back to the bench now. He's still hobbling, but he wants to be on that bench to watch the action. There he is, sitting down at the end next to Guy Lafleur.
As usual with Bobby Clark, when you say he may be finished for the evening, you're usually talking very prematurely.
Martinez and Esposito get set for the draw. Back to LaPointe. And LaPointe has it at center ice for Canada to Bobby Orr. 38 seconds remain in the first 10 minutes. Zarilla leaves it there for Halupa. He dumps it in front. Here's Leach getting a shot, and Zarilla stops that backhand drive. Martinez clears it up over the glass and out of play with 27 seconds remaining. And they'll switch ends at the midway point of this sudden death period.
A great ability for a defenseman, in particular when killing a penalty, is to be able to cut around the net and flip the puck high enough so it can get over the defenseman. The biggest problem, however, is that in the event that you do not get it high enough, you're really in desperate trouble, and that's what happened there with Halupa. He tried to get it up high and over, and instead, the puck just dribbled off his stick to Barber and almost resulted in a goal.
57 seconds remain in the Czechoslovakian penalty and 27 seconds in the first 10 minutes. Bobby Hull at the side of the Czechoslovakian goal. Hull is dumped by Bubla. Both players fall, and Holinka goes in to make sure the puck stays against the boards and under Bobby Hull. 18 seconds left now.
Twice in this overtime period, Bobby Hull has been dumped, and on the kinds of plays that, had they occurred during regulation time, might have resulted in penalties, but it takes a very, very special kind of infraction to be called in overtime.
Zorilla clears it off the boards. Orr keeps it in with 12 seconds. In behind the Czechoslovakian goal, Bobby Hull to Gilbert Perreault, back to Orr. Orr gets set with 5 seconds off the boards. Perreault right in front, and Hull couldn't handle it. 1 second, there goes the under. No goal. Well, we'll check it out here. The light did not go on. The light did not go on. The siren has gone to signify the end of the first 10 minutes. Now the referee has gone over to the bench, to the timekeeper's bench. And as is the case, if that red light, the red light cannot go on once the period is ended. And that is what has happened here.
The principle behind it is that the two lights, the red light, which signifies the goal, and the green light, which signifies the end of the period, are such that the two of them cannot go on at the same time. The puck went into the net. The goal judge tried to flip the red light on, and I'm sure he did flip the switch, but it could not go on as the green light was already on. It is technically supposed to be a foolproof system. However, what is a factor in the whole thing is the reflexes of the goal judge, because it takes him a split-second time to flick the switch after the puck has crossed the line, which may be enough to disallow a goal.
And the goal is disallowed, the end of the first 10 minutes. And that goes back to Monday night with that goal scored in that game, but it was scored just in time the red light came on. Ken, you'll recall that. But here, just the complete opposite. The red light couldn't go on because the period had ended.
Absolutely. I would have to think that the Czechs at this moment, here we go again. The shot by Lapointe from the point, it goes through a number of legs. It appears as if Zorilla has it for a while, perhaps long enough for the period to end before it trickles behind. There you can see the light on, and it is definitely the blue light rather than the red light.
So we head into the final 10 minutes of the first sudden death overtime period, and it's a 4-4 tie. Canada 4, Czechoslovakia 4.
I'm sure that the Czechoslovakian team must feel as if they have some grace going for them tonight in overtime, with 2 goals that would normally be scored and counted, both disallowed.
25 seconds remaining in the Czechoslovakian penalty. Puck is in their zone, taken by Milan Novi. He tries to get it out, clears it out to center ice. 15 seconds remaining in the penalty. Here's Perreault, in over the line, overskates the puck, gets a shot away, hits Pospisil. Pospisil off the boards to Novi. Novi coming back with 3 seconds remaining in the penalty. Novi over the line, but Augusta is offside, and we have 1 second remaining in the Czechoslovakian penalty. And they've successfully killed off this man's short advantage, a disadvantage.
Somehow Makac and Pospisil both got caught on that play, and it's something that very rarely happens to them. They're both very experienced. They've played well over 200 international matches each for the Czechoslovak national team, and something that absolutely should not happen, and I'm sure would not happen to them again very soon.
9 minutes and 31 seconds remain in sudden death overtime, the first 20-minute period of sudden death overtime. It's a 4-4 tie. The game will go on until one of the teams scores a goal to win it. In behind the net, Savard. Both teams are at full strength. Daryl Sittler had it knocked off his stick. Dennis Potvin will try at his own line, a long pass, knocked down by Halupa, cleared into the Team Canada zone. Stachny checks Savard. Potvin takes a jolt. Orjak out to Stachny. Here's Kozar. In over the line. He's dumped. Kept in by Halupa. In behind the Team Canada goal goes Savard. Savard out ahead to his own blue line to Marcel Dion. Broken up. Peter Stachny. He's checked by Sittler. Sittler will try it now with Dion. Feeds a pass to Dion, and Dvorak's there to break it up. 8 minutes and 43 seconds remain. And the puck is sailing down the ice. Savard And Peter Stachny back for it. Potvin takes it. Ahead to Lanny McDonald. To Marcel Dion to Sittler. Sittler gets by. Right in on goal. A shot. Score!
Le but de l'équipe du Canada, marqué par le numéro 27, Darryl Sittler.